This is the kickoff season. Next season I should be casting a little bit more, but this is Fish and Chips going up versus Infused. Infused, generally regarded as the top UK team at the moment. Of course, I am G Advance casting for you today, and already the draft has been underway just a little bit here. We got 2 picks out for both teams, and almost all the bans gone through. We got Lycan Marana first banned out by FnC, and Infused managed to take out the Batrider as well as the Ancient Apparition. Fish and Chips, though, they've managed to take advantage of this situation. They have managed to get here a Diacide Lycan, which of course is very dangerous. Not just because Lycan a difficult hero to deal with, but of course Lycan a very difficult hero to deal with whenever he gets Roshan. Fantastic split pusher, great hero for that, and now Enigma banned out as well as Visage for FnC, so they're taking out relatively greedy support heroes here. Apparently seem to think that Infuse will run a safe tri-lane here, which, you know, is definitely a possibility here, but Infuse also have the possibility of going aggressive, and of course with that Lycan pickup now picked up by this team, it's certainly something they want to do, is put some pressure at the early stage of the game up on the Lycan. Viper now going to be picked up for FnC here, so 3 core heroes immediately picked up by Fish and Chips. This leaves them a little bit vulnerable as far as draft is concerned. Already a lot of supports banned out by both these teams here, and they might be scraping the bottom of the barrel here to pick up their last support, but Wraith King Lion, the combination for Infused here, a lot of lockdown with these two, and of course Wraith King very difficult to deal with when he runs into the middle of your team. If he has Reincarnation up, you kind of don't want to kill him off, but if he's got any legitimate damage items, if he's got some good right clicks, then he's very difficult to actually stop there. So this is a smart pickup for Infused here, but as a first pickup it's a little bit vulnerable. They now pick up a Clockwork for themselves here, so potential offlaner for the team, could of course also be a mid laner, but given he'll likely be going up versus the Viper, this doesn't seem like it's going to be a solo mid Clockwork here. And Fish and Chips, well, they managed to get a hero who's certainly not scraping the bottom of the barrel by any stretch here. They pick up the Treant Protector, a very capable support hero, very good at getting himself first bloods in combination with other people, of course, because of that Leech Seed. Very powerful slow, heals your own team up, and does damage to the enemy teams. So very dangerous that. And Fish and Chips here, they look to have a kind of eclectic strategy here with lots of different layers to it. Very balanced overall. One problem they may be walking into right now is they might be having a tri-lane, you know, so far with 2 melee heroes and Infused. I said it before, Fish and Chips looking a little bit vulnerable picking up the Lycan and not having much in the way of supports left, and Enchantress banned out, so Infused, they pick up an Undying. This is an unusual pickup, but it's something that's been a little bit more common in the UK scene. I certainly see it been really common in in-house games or something, very high win rate there, but Undying is going to be picked up here. And this is probably part of an offensive tri-lane. Could of course be a solo somewhere, but this hero really is just all about dominating the early mid game. All about trying to get those early kills in with the Tombstone plus the Decay. Decay of course hurting strength heroes even more. And Fish and Chips, they already have 3 strength heroes. In fact, both teams have 3 strength heroes already. Both trying to just pick up big tanky lineups to move forward here. But now, the last ban out here coming from Fish and Chips, taking out the solo mid Brewmaster here. A hero that does relatively well versus Viper, just because you can never zone out a Brewmaster, pretty similar to DK's. He can always get a little bit of fun just with just using his bottle, crowing, and his AoE nukes to get himself extra last hits. And of course, with the added evasion, it's very difficult for Viper to actually fully zone him out and completely control the lane. And Lich now taken out by Infused there. They don't want FnC to be able to sort of dodge this tri-lane, to be able to pull this back and play safe. They want FnC to be forced to go up versus the Lion, Wraith King, Undying lane, because this is an absolutely terrifying lane here. At level 3, they have 3 disables, the Tombstone and the Decay, or even just level 2 actually. They have the Tombstone, Decay, they have Hex and Earth Spike, and they have, a couple levels of Wraithfire Blast if the Wraith King gets up a few more levels. So Fish and Chips here, going into their last pick, they'll have to be a little bit cautious about this one. It'll be a difficult one for them to pick up, because it has to be something that works in the defensive tri-lane, but also works with the Treant Protector. Possibilities are looking a little bit low here. Dazzle has been taken out, Enchantress, of course, one of the best defensive tri-lane versus offensive tri-lane heroes you're going to get. And FnC going into a lot of their bonus time here. Infused appear to have caught them off guard.
5 seconds remaining.
And this is a difficult one here. They eventually decide to pick up the Witch Doctor here. Witch Doctor Treant, very powerful team fight combination. Quite good in the laning stage, though. Witch Doctor's Paralyzing Cask, not the most reliable of spells. It'll be interesting to see if he wants to go that Voodoo Restoration build or whether he wants to go for the Maledict build. Maledict, of course, great damage output, but you do suffer as far as the push is concerned if you don't have lots of levels of that Voodoo Restoration. It's kind of one of those that Witch Doctor needs stats, so he either goes one or the other, but Infused now. They seem to be pretty confident in their drafting stage, and they picked up the last hero for them. This will be probably their solo mid hero. It is a Razor, so he'll likely go up against the Viper here, and FnC, hardly anybody is picking up their heroes right now. They look a little bit out of position here as far as their draft is concerned, because they now have to deal with an Undying tri-lane. The Razor will do very well against the Viper. The only matchup that's maybe a good one for FnC is the Centaur versus the Clockwork. Maybe we'll see them dodge the tri-lane, but Fish and Chips here, despite getting a dire side Lycan, they'll be in a bit of a difficult situation here versus Infused.
10 seconds remaining.
And we're just waiting for the team to actually pick up their heroes here. Man, if only this were all picked, they'd start losing their gold at this point. They are definitely talking this one over right now. But anyway, guys, this is the FESL League. Infused versus FnC here in a 2-game series. Coming up versus here. And on the side of Infused, it is going to be Razor, picked up by Tyrox here. Clockwork is going to be played by Cook. And the heroes looking like to go in the tri-lane. Elia is going to be picking up the Lion. Wraith King played by Richie, and Tone Bone apparently playing the Undying here, and they are looking like this is going to be a very obvious, though very dangerous offensive tri-lane, though Elia is a little bit low on regen, actually picked up a Ring of Protection, so they're looking to get a fast Basilius, start diving those towers. They rely on Undying, he's got plenty of clarities, so, but the side of FnC, they're actually grouped up going towards the enemy jungle here. In fact, on the side of FnC, it is Dai, currently leading the way. He's on the Witch Doctor here. Navster is going to be on the Lycan. The third player for their team is going to be Serial Chiller. He's going to be picking up the Centaur Warrunner. Ged is going to be on the Treant Protector. And last but not least, it is going to be Limbo picking up the Viper here. Either that's an Asian name or he's just saying Limbo as in the whole go under the stick thing. I don't know any of these players. Apologies, guys, but hopefully I'll get some more time to spend some time casting their games and learn a bit about them here. But on the side of FnC, the Fish and Chips team, both the supports staying around the bottom lane here and maybe looking, FnC, they've decided to dodge the enemy tri-lane. This is a smart option for them. Navster is going to go into the middle lane here. He's actually picked up a Basilius and been pulled here and picked up a Salve. And he's going to go 1v1 versus the Razor. Not an ideal matchup. Melee versus Razor, always difficult, but better than going up versus an offensive try here. In the meantime, they've actually left their Viper on the top lane. Doesn't need a huge amount of levels, and frankly, putting a offensive tri-lane versus him is a bit of a waste, so this is a smart move here from the side of FnC. In the meantime, everybody is on the bottom lane here. They'll try and deal with Cook, but he is staying in XP range. And of course, Clockwork, already a very strong offlaner, should be able to deal with these two well. They are trying to go on him here, but now Ged held onto the tower, onto the cogs, but actually, Cook is taking too much damage here. It's going to be a close one. Ged does get the first blood. The tower finishes him off, which is nice for Cook, but Ged will get the extra XP and gold for that one. And he now picks up himself some boots here. As I said before, Treant, very good hero for getting yourself the first blood. Leech Seed is an absolutely crazy spell, and with Paralyzing Cast and of course Witch Doctor's very good base damage and long range, they're able to pick up themselves a kill there. In the meantime, in the middle lane, it's 5-2 here in favor of Tyrox. This Lycan, I said it before, melee heroes do not do well versus Razor, and this is showing exactly that problem. Razor completely zoning him out, forcing him to choose between either fighting the Razor on bad terms with a static link hitting him seriously hard, or running away from the creep wave and not getting any farm. And at this point, how is he even meant to get last hits or denies? Every time he wants to try and come up, Static Link is not on a long cooldown by any stretch. In the meantime, on the top lane, things relatively passive for the moment. Nobody moving around here. Where's the Undying? Undying actually on the bottom lane here. It's Tonebone. He's only got the level 1 though. He's only got the Decay. He's now picked up level 2, so he does have the Tombstone. FnC don't appear to know he's here. He can of course break these trees here with the Tombstone, break through here. Oh, but the Treant Protector actually knows where he is. They're going to spot him off with the Lycan Howl on as well. They're going to do a lot of damage. He's going to try and get a Tombstone off, but it's only level 1, so the range isn't going to be huge. They're going to try and focus on Serial Chiller here. Serial Chiller trying to take him out, but now Tonebone going down to the deep damage over time. And now Cook has actually trapped him, but against the... wow, didn't use his power cogs there to hold in the Treant Protector, but... with them all held next to the Tombstone there, a lot of damage over time being done. The Howl was able to help them get the first kill from the side of FnC, but they lost both of their support. Well, no, one of their supports in the Centaur Warrunner threat, so not a great start for the side of FnC here. Infused are up 3-2 already, and the two highest farmers on the game are on theirs, and Cook is getting himself a little bit, whereas the, well, Navsta's getting himself a bit now, but it's taken him a little while to get some last hits here, and that's no disrespect to him, that's expected, frankly. This is not an easy lane for him to go up against. In the meantime, Limbo, now that a little bit of pressure's being taken off him, the Elia is still stuck up at the top lane, and Richie in a 1v1 couldn't take on the Viper, but if Elia leaves, then, I don't know, it's a difficult situation for them. Elia wants to leave that top lane, but if he does do so, if she does do so, and the Wraith King's going to struggle greatly up here, of course, because Viper's just a fantastic 1v1 hero. And you can already see the damage that Limbo's doing, actually, with the Howl as well. Now on the bottom lane, Die caught out by Cook here. The Tombstone goes down again. A lot of damage being done to Cook here, though. He's got the Malediction as well as the Leech Seed on him. They are going to manage to take out the Witch Doctor first, and there's tons of zombies going up here. Tonebone doesn't have much in the way of mana though. Serial Chiller taking a lot of damage from the zombies, but it's not going to be enough. And Diane with that great base damage boosted up by all these decay stacks he's stolen here. Very strong during the early stage of the game, and forcing FnC to go in a 3v2 situation and lose their lane. That's the effect of Undying in the early game, and of course Clockwork, a very strong hero as well. With boots, if he catches anyone out, they're going to be in a world of hurt here. The Power Cogs plus Battery Assault is just absolutely devastating at this stage of the game, doing almost 1,000 damage, but now up on the top lane, Limbo caught out of position versus Richie and Elia. The stun's too difficult for them, but now Ged is here. He's got the Leech Seed, actually managed to kill him off with it, despite the best effort of Elia there. And a nice teleport from Ged. He'll get himself a little bit of XP and last hits as well while he's up here. But this means there's no potential for aggression on the bottom lane here. Both teams trading relatively evenly so far, and in fact in the middle lane, Navsta managed to man-fight up versus the Razor there despite the Static Link. Navsta was just a little bit too strong there. A very close call for him in reality, but with the Treant armor to help him out, and well, he's going to be okay. Both teams moving towards dual lanes, actually. Ged now pulling on the top lane. He is spotted out by one of Elia's wards, though. Speaking of Elia, she is not getting a huge amount of gold at the moment. He is very far down as far as the last hits and denies is concerned, but sacrificing everything for her team at the moment doesn't seem like a bad plan. Might come to bite her later on though. She is getting good XP, actually leveling up this mana drain as well on her, so she's not going to need too much in the way of mana items to support her spells, but she is going to be a little bit squishier. Going into the mid game, it's not uncommon to see Lions just max the Earth Spike, get 1 in Hex, and just get stats until you pick up later levels of Hex, but she's decided to pick up the mana drain here, which means that she's very XP hungry. Which is why this is okay, because she's been sitting in lane next to her carry for the most part.
Middle tower is under attack.
Now Limbo,
Radiant structures
looking like he kind of wants to
fortified.
go on them, but not much potential for a kill here, but wait a minute, FnC supports, grouped up with the smoke, going on the top lane here. They're going onto Limbo already though, Infused, maybe going aggressive at exactly the wrong time. Limbo's turned into a fish, but it doesn't matter, Tyrox has actually turned up. He's got the static linked off, stealing a lot of damage here, he's got plus 84. The Wraith King, however, goes down, didn't have his ulti up yet, because of Elgar sitting here taking all the XP. And now, the Razor goes down as well, a ton of TP support, and a ton of help. Just the wrong time to go in onto FnC, and in the meantime, Elliot is terrified. Cook hooks his way into here, in the middle of the entire enemy team. They're going to try and go on to die. They also have the Undying here. The Tombstone is down, it's doing a lot of damage. Serial Chill to it, taking a lot of HP damage himself off, but it looks like it's going to be enough. It's a rampage for Limbo in the middle of this fight. And FnC bringing this back here, Infused going in separately, really. They weren't entirely coordinated then. The Clockwork went in, the Undying tried to follow up, but they simply didn't have enough HP and they didn't have enough sustain in that. The Undying quickly ran out of mana, wasn't able to use more of those decays, and because of that and his relative squishiness, he doesn't have any real items outside of boots and a stout shield. He goes down from that fight, and, well, Infused, who are looking like they had an advantage. The game is in anyone's corner at this stage of the game.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
8 minutes in, and now the top farmers in the game, or at least the top as far as net worth, is in fact the Lycan, as well as the Viper. Neither of them particularly rich. Viper trying to work up to that mech, and Lycan with just brown boots and a Vladimir's offering at this point. But now he's fully sustainable. He'll be a very fast jungler if he wants to go there. And perhaps with a little bit of help, he would have the opportunity to do Roshan. Kinda needs a medallion before that, but with Dai having the Voodoo Restoration up, which helped them a lot in that last fight, by the way. The sustain from Voodoo Restoration plus the Treant Protector is absolutely fantastic for this team, but perhaps if Dai helped him, Navster could go for the oh no, they're actually going to go for the tower here on the middle lane. Tyrex is trying to contest. Cook is actually going to hook here. He manages to hold on to get here. He's taking a lot of damage due to the wolves, as well as the Treant Protector being a difficult target. They focus down the Lycan. He goes down. Now they're stunning up Navster. No, they actually finished off the Witch Doctor, who's immediately brought back. Tyrex is now trying to run away. The wolves going after him as well. He's very fast with the phase boots. And now Richie diving deep here. He doesn't care. He's got the reincarnation up. Nobody can stop him. They do go for the Maledict, as well as the Witch Doctor stun. He's actually used up all of his mana here. This could be a bad time for him to go down. Maledict did a serious amount of damage. Now the wolves trying to go onto him. There's no more mana for a Leech Seed though. And Elia making her way that way as well. Centaur Wall Runner trying to come in there for the moment, but he doesn't quite have his Blink Dagger yet, though he does have Tranquil, so he's pretty fast. And Elia still no items brought up on here. Might just go for Tranquils at this point. They didn't go up in the contested tri-lane, so she didn't pick up a fast Basilius or anything. And now, the side of FnC, they've taken a couple of fights, 7-12, it's their advantage at the moment. And they're getting more off the map at the right now.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's all going to be about how things develop. Lycan picking up a Staff of Wizardry here, so going to be rushing a straight Necro Book here for Navster on the top lane. He's going out versus Cook at the moment, who's had a couple of good initiations, but it's just not been enough. They haven't had the damage, and FnC are very hard to take down, very tanky heroes on their side.
Radiant's bottom tower
and of course with the mech pretty much done now on Viper in just a couple hundred gold, and the Voodoo Restoration, as well as the fact that they have Living Armor and Leech Seed, it's very difficult to focus down a single target on the side of FnC, even the squishy ones like Witch Doctor. Or, now Serial Chiller, he has got his Blink Dagger here, but it's been cancelled. Tyrox tried to steal some damage, didn't manage to get anything though, it was cancelled. They're all trying to get out of here with the Centaur ulti now. Dai's going to turn around, it doesn't look like it's going to be enough to get anybody though. And now Limbo is here as well. They haven't stolen any damage, of course, on Tyrox. Richie still has this reincarnation. They're going to keep on going after Limbo here. He does go down.
Top tower is under attack.
Serial Chiller manages to survive, but it's at the cost of his teammates' lives. They threw away their lives to save him there. Perhaps a bad decision on their part, but At this stage, rating him as worth that. They tried to stampede away, but it just wasn't going to happen. Now in the middle lane, Tyrox and Elia hitting here across from Serial Chiller, who does have his Blink Dagger. Hasn't got off any major initiations right yet. Part of the issue of that, of course, has been his mana. You can see right now he has just enough for a Hoof Stomp. In the last fight, he didn't have the opportunity to do that.
Dire's top tower is under
Now multiple
attack.
people from the side of FnC are grouped up in the middle lane here. Looks like they want to go for an early push, just try and create as much space as possible. Throughout all this fighting, Navster is continuing to get ahead and stay ahead of everybody on the side of Infused, and of course Infused, if you look at their lineup, they're not that limited, but Razor, not a typical hard carry, going drums and looks like an S and Y maybe. He's picked up a Band of Elven skin. Doesn't tell you a huge amount, but it tells you at least he's going Yasha. But either way, Infused lineup does not go that great late game. Wraith King, not a bad hero of course, but doesn't match up that well versus Lycan. Wraith King's biggest issue is being kited, of course, and Lycan is virtually his virtual haste from the shapeshift. He'll be able to get out of here from that one. In the meantime, Infused haven't managed to take out any towers. They haven't managed to push. And FnC, they're gaining gold on Navster at this point. And they're not winning these fights by a wide enough margin for it really to be worth it. On the top lane here, Cook is just defending. He does have his help. Both the supports are staying around here, Tonebone as well as Elia. Both of them very poor as well. Oh, not quite as poor as the Witch Doctor. And now on the bottom lane, the Treant's TP'd down, Centaur lurking in the sidelines, looking like he wants to use his Blink Dagger here. He's not decided on the target yet, and of course it's very difficult to go on Richie, but they are going to go from here. They use the Witch Doctor ulti as well, but the Blade Mail comes out, doesn't do anything versus Witch Doctor. It's a separate unit. Richie goes down, but it only pops his ulti. Cook is here, but he's going to go down as well. Serial Chiller almost going down to the Finger of Death here, and now they're all fighting under the Tombstone. It's lasting a long while. Navster is here though in his ulti form, and he's going absolutely to town. Richie is not able to do enough, even with his Blade Mail. Tyrox is going to go down, didn't manage to steal too much damage, and suddenly FnC are running them over with this heavy sustainable lineup, and with Infused barely being able to focus down one target in the fight. And that was with FnC initiating on the Wraith King as well, who's not the ideal initiation target. You want to go on something like the Lion, or maybe jump on the Razor first, take them out of the fight. But no, they go for the Wraith King first, and they still clearly win that fight. The damage coming out from that team then, with the Howl on everybody. An extra bonus 30 damage. It's only level 2, but it is plenty at this stage. And with the Vladimir's offering, they're a very strong 5-man, very tanky, and difficult to deal with. And now perhaps the side of FnC will look towards going to Roshan here. Navster, he's look at the best items for doing Roshan here, considering that his Necro 2, the recipe for his Necro 2 is actually still on his courier, but it doesn't matter because in the meantime, Clockwork again caught out of position here. Tyrox is in the area, might try to go on Limbo here, hasn't stolen any damage, is going to start to now. The Tombstone, has it got down? It has, so they're going to be slowed down. Die is going to be next. As the Witch Doctor and the Viper go down, Serial Chiller in a bad situation. His Blink is going to come off cooldown just now though. And he does manage to make his way away, and in the meantime, Richie just running forward with no fear. His Blade Mail is up, but his Reincarnation isn't. This is a little bit dangerous, and now Navster again going in with the ulti, and this time a Necro 2, but a lot of damage being stolen. He's going to be focused down here. This is him almost going down. He is going to. In the meantime, Richie goes down from the initiation of Serial Chiller, but now he's stuck in the pit here, just losing mana and health. He's going to try and die to Roshan, but it is not enough.
When you get to hell.
Lycan actually manages to take out the Razor there, and now they're trying to take out Tonebone. Lycan doing a lot of work with his extra creeps here. Now Cook is trying to run away. The creeps are following him. Have they got any damage? There's still the mana burn up on these On this range creep, he does
Dire's
use it.
middle
Cook has
tower
taken
is
a lot
under
of damage,
attack.
but he's relatively tanky and will just about make it out there. With only 150 health, this Roshan has caused a lot of pain for both these teams. And both teams forced to try and deal with the Roche pit. Lycan now has finally turned up. He's picked up a Necro 2, and with the extra gold he earned, despite dying fairly early in the fight,
Roshan has fallen to
he's
the
now managed to get enough of the Necro 3, and is actually goading the Aegis over to Limbo here. With his mech picked up on him, he's a very important core part of their team fight. And now immediately going to the bottom lane to try and pressure here. The only one who isn't here though is the Initiator, Serial Chiller. As well as Tyrox, who is smoked up at the moment, looking a little bit lost, going in the wrong direction here. He has picked up a Yasha, so he's very fast here with all these levels of unstable current. The issue is he's not getting a huge amount of damage, he's not that tanky either. We saw that in the last fight. Now the Howl going off, Navster. The front lines here, FnC will take out themselves a tier 2 tower. And still nothing taken out by Infused. They've lost 3 of their own towers, not managed to take in anything. In the middle lane, Tyrox is trying to do what damage he can, but with the glyph, plus the availability of Treant's living armor, they'll heal that one right up back to full if they can, and now everybody's coming into the middle lane. The initiation from Chiller. Tyrox looks to be in a very bad situation here. Nothing he can do about this other than right click away and hope. And he is going to go down there. Caught out of position, and well, now Infused will be forced to try and defend their middle lane as FnC will barrel down here, and there's not a huge amount to contest them for this. They might have to just lose this. Tonebone is here in the trees trying to build himself up a mech. He's only got a buckler so far though. The issue with trying to build up items like mech on your supports as a core item is always that they just simply don't get enough money to do it, and tier 2 tower is going to go down here. No even attempt to do anything about this from the side of Infused, and that's fair enough because they couldn't afford at that point. Richie on the meantime on the top lane, ooh, just about manages to get out of there then. Yeah, the Witch Doctor's paralyzing cast almost hit him. He managed to TP just that in time and force a lot of other people to TP up here as well, but in the end doesn't even matter for them. Now Ged has picked up his Blink Dagger on the Treant Protector here. Another tower going down for the side of Infused. FnC are getting a huge gold advantage from this. If we pick up the net worth and the XP graphs on the top right, you can see 10k gold advantage in the side of FnC here. XP is a little bit more tame, but still 7,500. 20 minutes into the game, and Infused, they go for the sensible option here. They can't defend this tower. May as well go for a trade. The gold matters more to you than it does to the enemy team at this point. So they do finally manage to take out the tier 1 mid tower, but they lose this. They've lost all their outer towers at this point. And this looks like it might be a game going the way of FnC. They'll have to go for this defense here. Tyrox is coming in. He does have his buyback in the meantime though, but he can be fairly aggressive already with the Howl damage. The Necro book coming out, the Wolves as well. Focusing down, they're going on to Napster here. A lot of damage stolen from Tyrox. The Treant ulti, now the initiation from Cook. They're all getting stuck under the tombstone here. A lot of damage is being done to them over time. The Treant almost going down. He isn't. Neither team is losing too much from this. The Wraith King holding everybody in position for even longer. The duration of this fight means the Tombstone is doing an absolute ton. The area is just covered in zombies at this point. They still keep on losing people on the side of Infused, but FnC are losing everybody. Limbo's Aegis will get him out of there, but eventually, well, he has to BKB TP, and everybody else goes down. The zombies ending up just clogging up that fight at that point, with Cook in the middle of that as well. A great initiation from him. And suddenly Infused, looking like they're saying, well, We know you can take your outer towers, but we're not letting you go onto the high ground there. They do a significant portion of damage to the melee barracks here, but they don't take it down, and of course, melee barracks, they have regen on. So in the end, all that push really gets them is a tier 3. Which, admittedly, at 22 minutes into the game, well worth it, but is it going to be enough for them? Now Richie and Tyrox grouped up on the top lane here, going for this tier 1 tower, which again has of course been healed up. Now the TP's coming out from the side of FnC. Richie doesn't appear to give a damn though. They're chasing after him with the Centaur ulti. Richie looks like he's giving his life away. Tyrox tried to steal some damage, then maybe looked like he was going to try and do something about it, but in the end, absolutely nothing he can do. And now the Tombstone given away, free gold for Napster there, as well as experience, and now Ged has actually caught up to him with the lead seed, but Cook is coming in again, sacrificing his life for his team. Maybe it's going to be enough, maybe it won't be. Serial Chiller with jump and hoof stomp on top of him, and now Elia, they're being run over here. This is the worst situation for Infused. They want to take a 5v5 fight on their terms. They don't want to be taken while they're not grouped up, and well, the option was to buy back then for their team. They don't have it on the clockwork, and with him down, they don't have strong enough initiation, so Infused immediately lose their top barracks here. A difficult situation for them. They'll have to wait for this clockwork to be up. He's up in just a few seconds. Dying, trying to steal what he can in the way of HP. Just trying to do what they can as well as throw everything out. Try to force them back here. Napster going into his Wolfstorm to try and run away. Dire's going to be giving him the Death Ward in the middle of this fight. Doesn't look like it's going to be enough though. The Wraith King dies. Buybacks immediately coming back into the fight. And FnC, they're trying to get out of there. Cook is chasing very deep into the middle of the enemy team. He tries to hookshot, but the zombies will block him. FnC is taking a lot of damage. Limbo dodges the stun with the BKB. Now fighting in the middle of this. The Treant ulti holds them in place, so Richie can't do any damage, even with his blade mail on. He's now going to try and go after Napster, though, who isn't in his wolf form anymore. This could be a big pickup for them, but actually he's forced to run away because of all the creeps going on. And FnC are dominating the game at this point. Richie running as far as he can, barely manages to get the mana for reincarnation. He's going to try and turn around now. He's going on to Napster, but the Treant Protector's living armor is saving him. And now he's using the blade mail, but it's not going to be enough. There's too many people. He's being kited around. And Tyrox is in the middle of this fight as well, completely overextended. And Infused, no buyback on their Razor. They call it actually. I was going to check through all their buybacks then, but they call it at this point. They know what's happening, they know what's up, and we will go to the next game. It's a 2-game series, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please stick around for the next game for the FESL. My name, of course, has been G Advance. And, yep, we'll be back in just a moment for game 2.